Oh, hello there. What's up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video. And we're going to be talking about what else? The Switch 2. That's what everybody's talking about. So why not me? I always did my impressions on the quote-unquote reveal of the device itself. So you can go check that out. It's in my last video. But we're going to be talking about a certain subject of, is the Nintendo Switch 2 boring? I don't know. We don't know enough yet, but I just want to first address, I guess, people upset or bothered by the fact that some people think it's boring and not interesting or not very Nintendo-like and all that stuff. Because I'm kind of one of them. Like, I didn't think the reveal of it was very Nintendo-like. But I'm also not yet worried that it's not going to be exciting. But that doesn't change the fact that the reveal itself was pretty standard, kind of boring. And I know people are like, picking it apart and trying to find things that might be interesting. And some of them are probably true, but we're going to see on that. But I also thought it was weird that there was almost backlash for people wanting it to be more interesting, the console itself, wanting it to be more quote-unquote Nintendo-like. There were certain outlets putting out articles that I thought were kind of clickbaity. I think one from Eurogamer was, has Nintendo lost its like weird charm, or where is it? Something like that. And I just thought, they don't care. Like, when have they ever cared about Nintendo and that's kind of quirkiness that we core Nintendo fans like? But there were certain Nintendo fans out there, or at least people who like the Switch, bothered by people wanting more pizzazz in the Switch 2. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I saw that so many times. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, that in itself isn't very exciting. Like, so you're acknowledging that it's not exciting. There's nothing wrong with fans wanting that. But if you guys know my theory on Nintendo consoles, Revolution and Evolution, which I'm going to update pretty soon here, especially now that the Switch 2 has been revealed. This is the Evolution console, and most of the time the Evolution console does not do as well as the Revolution console, the interesting, the weird console. People forget that. Well, we'll start with the NES. The NES sold around 61 million units, and its Evolution, that was the Revolution, its Evolution sold 50 million units, or maybe even like 49 million. The Super Nintendo. Now, a lot of people love the Super Nintendo, and rightfully so. I think I like it better than the NES. I'm not sure. There's nostalgia clouding it, but it sold 10 million, roughly 11 million less. Then you get to the Revolution, that is the N64, which, because of timing and whatnot, didn't do as well as, previous Revolution consoles for Nintendo, but it did better than its Evolution, which is the GameCube, by about 12 or so million units. Although there's nostalgia now for the GameCube, at the time the GameCube got ripped apart by the media and fans as well. And the N64 is still to this day a very beloved console. Some people call it polarizing. I don't think so. I think there's a certain contingent of fans who want to post-mortem, what do you call it? But it's not anything serious. It's usually, the controller is weird, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. The graphics are blurry. Well, yeah, graphics are much blurrier today, or then, than they are today, obviously. We have 4K now. But, again, Super Nintendo, GameCube, both did less. The Wii was a revolution, sold over 100 million units. And in its evolution, the Wii U sold poorly, sold 13.5 million. So I think a lot of people are stuck on the Wii U. Oh, Wii U was weird. No, that was the Evolution console. That was the Wii plus here's a little something extra. But there's nothing like groundbreaking about it, even though it kind of tried to want to be groundbreaking, but it was a tablet. It was play off screen if you want to play off screen, and that was around the time tablets started getting big. Like iPads and the Android ones and all that started getting big. So it wasn't like it was this crazy revolution. Same goes for the handhelds. The Game Boy family, if you will, sold better than the Game Boy Advance by 20 million units or something. And then the Nintendo DS, which was the revolution, sold 154 million. And the 3DS, its evolution, sold 78, somewhere around there, million. So significantly less. So there's proof that the Evolution console doesn't do as well, and it's probably going to happen with the Switch 2 as well. It's probably not going to sell as well as the Switch, and that would be understandable. That's standard practice. Who don't know though? We just don't know. But if you look at the history of it, it's going to say that the Switch 2 is not going to do as well as the Switch, and it's probably true. But people like, as you can see in history, the quirky, the fun, interesting new thing consoles sell well. And I guess I guess people are stuck on the Wii U because it had a tablet controller, but it was a pretty standard console. As far as like having standard controls and all that, it wasn't anything weird. It just added a tablet, a touchscreen, which they already had on the 3DS. It's basically a 3DS or a DS console. Here's your second screen is in your hand, and your top screen is on the TV itself. So, and it, they tried to do other little things, multimedia things, but the Wii had already done that kind of stuff. So I think people are just stuck on the Wii U, like it was the weird, quirky. It wasn't really that weird or that quirky. They just didn't market it well for what it was. They should have marketed it as a Wii HD. The name definitely hurt it, but if they marketed it better and make the market understand better what it was, this is a HD Wii, I think it would have done a lot better. Still wouldn't have sold as well as the Wii, but it would have done better. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with fans wanting that quirkiness, because usually that quirkiness is better business for Nintendo. They wouldn't do it if it wasn't. I know there's all this hemming and hawing all the time when Nintendo acts Nintendo, but that's why the core fans love them. And that's when they do their best. The Wii and DS era, the two revolutionary consoles, the revolutionary handheld, revolutionary home console, that was like their printing money era. There's that gif, that meme of Nintendo printing money, because that's what they were doing during that era. So it's weird that people got all mad because fans want something a little bit more special than what we saw. It's an evolution of the Switch, which is fine. And it'll do well, and also it'll end up getting more games because the power's better, and because we're in this era now, again timing, we're in this era of like diminishing returns with graphics and whatnot. A lot of things can be downscaled or whatnot to work on lesser hardware. Companies are getting better and better at doing that, optimizing for lesser hardware, thanks to things like the Steam Deck and these other PC handhelds, as well as the Switch itself. A lot of studios got some good time in, and were able to pull off impossible ports with the Switch, and that's going to continue with the Switch 2. Now, another thing I think is boring about it is its logo. I wish they would have done something a little bit more interesting with the logo. I would have liked the two, like inside of, like, say, you have the two Joy-Cons on the side, and obviously in the middle is the tablet. So you have that kind of design, just a little rectangle, and then a two inside that, and have the Joy-Cons attached to that. I think that would have been more interesting, at least. But I think they were playing it super safe. That's one of the reasons people are a little annoyed by its kind of mehness, if you will, as far as the design and the logo, because something like that is it's just like, here, Switch, and it's a Switch logo, and we'll put 2 next to it. That just seems very un-Nintendo, but very new CEO for Kawa. That seems very business-like for him. So, and it's it's just understandable. We've had phones that just have a numbered iteration like iPhones. Obviously, the PlayStation has been doing that from the beginning. Just everything kind of does that already. So Nintendo has just never done that. So it seems a little off. But I believe there are cool things to come, because it's in Nintendo's DNA to do some cooler things. I think when it comes to the what is it called, the UI itself, I think there'll be some interesting things in there. Maybe some cool apps inside the system itself. I was thinking, like, because of the the mouse capabilities, it looks like it has mouse capabilities. Nintendo's gonna just put it like onboard some software that utilizes that in a cool way, kind of like what Astrobot does for the what do they call it, the haptic stuff, the stuff for the PS5, the controller and whatnot, the cool tech in that. I think Nintendo's gonna have some kind of software like a Mario Studio, Mario Artist, or something like that, just for everybody to have and play with right away, and get a feel for whatever cool new things that the controller does bring, little extra features. So I think it's understandable for people like myself to be a little bit like, I wish they would have done more as far as that goes. But that's where all the boringness comes from. I don't think that's a big deal. The Switch 2 is going to get more games because, again, like I said, games can be optimized for it better, thanks to things like I said, the PC handhelds, as well as I left out the Xbox Series S. So companies are used to downscaling their games at this point, especially, and we're going to get more, so that's cool. So yep, that's my video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, I've complained that I wanted like more ergonomic Joy-Cons, because I didn't think the split Joy-Con thing, as far as handing off one Joy-Con to another person, I mean, people do it, but it's not like a big thing. So I would have hoped they would have gave a proper D-pad like these do, and give a little bit more to the grip itself. But they wanted a kind of more slender look, the way that the Switch looks currently, and this is a little bit too out there. I'm for this shape especially. You're like, oh, and there'll be third parties that come along that'll make controllers for it. These won't work, sadly. These are going to be stuck to my Switch, but so I'm sure there'll be the same guys making third party Joy-Cons for the Switch 2. So yeah, we're just waiting until February 2nd, or excuse me, April 2nd, to see what's up with that, as far as what extra things to make it less boring that they're gonna do, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening, and let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think it's boring? Do you think it's gonna be some surprises Nintendo's gonna bring and make it better, make it more fun? Make it more Nintendo? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and now see you fools next time. Peace out.